In 1809, a dark-haired woman strode through the deep forest of Armenia. The rain lashed down through the trees, the water marking her robes heavy and thick. But she was determined. The young woman was Kardashian, the great-great-great-great-grandmother of Kim, Courtney, and Co. She was beautiful, but her life was hard. At 19 years of age, she had just had her first child. Intent on forging a better future for her offspring, Kikal sought out the witch clan of the Shikahogh woods. Does that name Shikahogh ring a bell? The witch clan possessed powerful magic, dark spells, and ancient curses that had made them enemies of the Armenian state. Now, deep in the dark woods, they practiced their arts away from the prying eyes of the increasingly modern and intolerant society. Kikal walked for days, her dark eyes fixed to the sought and ancient trails of the vanishing woodland tribes. Follow your heart, they had told her, and you will find the clan. But be careful, they had said, for the witches will demand much of you. Much, much more than you can imagine. Finally, Kikal came upon a clearing. Gnarled trees rose up from the earth like tortured hands. Beyond the rough clearing, beyond the dark earth, the mouth of the cave gasped like the throat of a beast. Within faint traces of flames cast shadows in the depths, ghostly tremors of light and movement. Witches, Kikal cried, hear me. Her words echoed back from the cave, unnaturally and stripped of all humanity. I come seeking a better future for my kin. I offer you all that you wish to take. I offer you my soul. Soul? Soul. Soul. The words echoed back, each repetition louder than the first. Movement, solid movement from within. Cloaked and hooded figures began to emerge. They moved like flowing mud, connected to the ground, to the soul of the ancient earth. Soul, you say, said the first woman. A voice, but nothing more. But something more, something stronger. 4 witches now stood in the clearing, eyes fixed upon Kikal from beneath their tattered hands. Soul? You have a soul to give? I have a strong heart, but my life is troubled, said Kikal. No matter how hard I try, I cannot make my way in this world. I ask nothing for myself, but I ask you now to give fame, fortune, and physical beauty to my offspring and to future generations of the Kardashians. Make the Kardashians famous and free them from my toil. The second witch now spoke. Fame, fortune, and physical beauty, you ask for no more? Nothing more, wise witches, nothing more. And so it shall be. And so it shall be, but first you must do the dance of Shikahogh. The other witches cried with glee, the dance, she shall do the dance of Shikahogh. Kikal stepped closer. I shall do the dance, tell me how. And so it was that Kikal Kardashian submitted to the dance of Shikahogh, an ancient dance that the witches enjoyed more than any other. They ordered Kikal to disrobe, to stand naked in front of them, and so she did. She stood in all her perfection upon the dark earth of the clearing, and the rain began to fall upon her perfectly formed breast, her smooth thighs, and her raven hair, the cleft of her exquisitely formed buttocks. The witches then adorned her in preparation for the dance. They placed a hedgehog upon her head. They hung a leopard's tail from her buttocks. They affixed the tiny beak of 2 snowcocks to her protruding nipples, Her feet were placed inside the severed paws of a giant bear. "Now dance," they cried. "Dance the dance of Shikahogh." Kegel was a terrible dancer, but she tried. Oh, how she tried. The witches were happy, and they begun to sing amongst bouts of hysterical laughter. She dances, the dance of Shikahogh. What a fool she looks, what a tit, as she dances with a hog on her head and a bear on her feet. Indeed, Kegel did look like a total idiot. The witches laughed uncontrollably, snorting and cackling and occasionally releasing foul-smelling farts as they watched her perform. One even rolled around in the dirt, doubled over in all her glee. They had taken her dignity for their own amusement. They had also drawn impressively detailed sketches of the dancing Kegel, which they later told to the Armenian press. They then spread gossip throughout the nation, telling of her ridiculous dance. And so it was. So it began. Kegel returned to the village, but her family and friends shunned her. She had become the joke in society. She returned to the dark woods where she remained isolated and alone, with only the children she had for her company. But the witches had not lied. Kegel was damned to loneliness, but her child, and all her female descendants, received what the witches' clan of Shikahogh had promised: fame, fortune, physical beauty, and nothing more. Talent. But they have always had a strange capacity for achieving fame, fortune, and physical beauty, but nothing more. Nothing more. And that is why the Kardashians are famous. At least, it seems to make as much sense as any other story.
But all you're giving back is so on the hush-hush. Like, you know, if you're a billionaire, all we see is you making this money. We don't see you building any schools. Like the Kardashians, they have some charitable shit, I guess, that they do. Well, we don't know what the fuck it is, you know? And how can a whole clan of bitches, everybody, become hugely successful unless maybe Kris done made some little side deal with the devil? You know, it's just a very spooky thing to think about. I don't know who runs what, but I know who ain't running nothing, and we ain't running nothing.
I wanted to bring up Kris Jenner and another dishonorable mention. So, as you see here, she has a church. It's called California Community Church, and it was founded by none other than Kris Jenner. Now, it did have a name change. Originally, it was called Life Change Community Church. But since there was a lien placed on the church, one could only wonder why the name change. Another interesting thing is, well, besides the whole thing is shady as shit, so you had to pay a membership fee of $1,000 a month. Plus, on top of that, you had to pay 10% of your salary to the organization. This was expected. Now, interesting that churches get tax breaks. Yeah, there was a lien on the property. Okay. All right. Also interesting is the pastor. So, first of all, Kris found this pastor at Starbucks. He was working at Starbucks. So, his name was Pastor Brad Johnson. And he ended up being the main pastor at the church. So he has a really rocky history. He's actually said he wouldn't ever go back into ministry. He ended up going through a really bad divorce scandal. And then in 2007, he got divorced. And then sadly, on top of that, he tried to kill himself 3 different times. And with the last time that he tried to kill himself, it was said that he did it with an overdose of medication, and he had to be revived. I find this sad and interesting and not shocking. You know, as above, so below. Just like you have the good, you have the bad, or you have the bad and worse. in this case, I don't want to judge, but